Good morning, folks. This is Ruben again with another video here at Blueprints. Right now I'm mobile. I'm at the post office. I'm fixing to check my mail, buy some postage for the newsletters, and just bless these inmates with the September newsletter. And also now we're offering a Spanish version. So driving to the post office, I'm looking around, just the trees and cars, and listening to the sermon and just enjoying life, thanking God for the blessings that I have, even the ones that I don't recognize that I do have. And I'm thinking about truth, thinking about why it matters. You know, we hear the slogan, Black Lives Matters, or Blue Lives Matters, or All Lives Matters. The fact is, as a Christian, truth matters. Not a truth, but the truth. And I want to talk about that real quick. I promise I won't take too much of your time, because this office is fixing to open here in a second. But the analogy of, diluting something. I remember when I was in prison, we used to have, the commissary would sell us squeezed cheese, and right when it was about halfway empty, I would, and a lot of people would, throw some water in there and shake it up, and you basically diluted the cheese. And one of the main reasons why, let me just talk about me, why I would do that, dilute the cheese, is to extend and prolong its use. And the more I would dilute it, the weaker the taste of the cheese would become. Still had the, pretty much the same color. The flavor was pretty much there, but it was weaker. Think about also Pine Sol, or bleach, or Fabuloso. We use Fabuloso when we mop our floor. If you dilute Fabuloso or bleach or Pine Sol, you do it for a couple of reasons, but the effect of diluting any substance, even though you're trying to extend its use, the effect of dilution is you weaken its properties. It's not as strong as it is designed to be. And I thought about how when we dilute the gospel, the same thing happens. Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, in Romans rather, chapter 1, verse 16, he said that he's not ashamed of the gospel. Why? Because it is the power. The gospel is the power of God to transform lives. But what happens if we dilute that power? We weaken it. And there's a lot of ways in which you and I dilute the gospel, in which we dilute God's truth. And just as when we dilute bleach or Fabuloso or cheese, we think that we're extending and prolonging its use, making it go further. When we dilute the gospel, we think we're going into places we could never go. We just left the gospel intact. When in fact, we're weakening the gospel. The gospel doesn't help. Certainly doesn't need for us to dilute it with worldly beliefs, worldly tactics. Let the gospel be the gospel. Do not dilute it. Because when you dilute the gospel, you not only weaken it, but as Paul said in another book, you present another gospel. And I'm not going to mention the many ways in which we dilute the gospel, because that's for another video. But I just wanted to encourage you within 4 or 5 minutes that diluting the gospel in whatever way you do, compromising your integrity, throwing in whatever you think you need to throw in because you don't want to offend people, or take out of the gospel because you don't want to offend people, you're diluting it. And you're in essence robbing the message of the only way it can save people. You're taking away the power. And in essence, erecting your own power, thinking that the gospel in itself is not enough. You need to change it. You need to dilute it because you have a better strategy and a plan than God. That, my friends, is a scary thought. Ruben again of Blueprints. God bless. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.